Good morning, world. It is a beautiful, sunny day, February 7th, 2019, in Abaco. Again, Kai Mills is telling his story like only Kai Mills could tell it. If you're wondering why I do these videos, I think we failed as a country, as a people, in the last 20 years for what we have done collectively to this country unknowing. Whenever you see that we as a people elect two persons of the same law firm and they keep switching back and forth, only thing changes the color of their shirt, we have a problem in this country. I'm talking about Hubert Ingraham and Perry Christie. When I tell my guests that the Prime Minister of the country is Hubert Ingraham and his law partner and his best friend for life is Perry Christie, they say, wow, how can that happen? How did you allow that to happen? And them two has had the Bahamas and got the Bahamas in the state it is today with the $7 billion that we could never pay in my lifetime. I showed you a clip with Singapore. And what they said in Singapore is the only area that is non-corrupt. You imagine living in a non-corrupt society as far as government? That's something I dream about. That is why I speak out, to try to make the difference in Abaco. And when the guy talks about Singapore and one of the government person went on a trip, it brings me way, way back when Hubert Ingraham was the Prime Minister and Earl DeVoe took a ride right from Abaco. I was right here when they did the shot on this guy, the Farrakhan, whoever he is, helicopter. And the PLP asked immediately for Earl DeVoe resignation because he got a ride on the Farrakhan helicopter. Then, the next year, the PLP became the government. Well, when I look, I saw Mike Melman, the CEO of Bakers Bay Jet, went to Nassau. I said, wonder why they're going to Nassau. They don't usually go to Nassau. I'm here, and the jet landed at the FBO in Mars Harbor. Guess who on the jet? Perry Christie and eight of his sitting cabinet ministers. Mind, these the same guys just a year prior asked for the resignation of Earl DeVoe because he flew on the Farrakhan helicopter. The sitting Prime Minister, Perry Christie, all the Bakers Bay bosses had lined off to carry him to Bakers Bay. Went on Bakers Bay boat. Went out there for a couple hours. Came back to the Mars Harbor Airport. I spoke to Perry with his cabinet there. Remember Shane Gibson? He's one of my favorite. He's been fooling them all his life and he's still there. Can't get him convicted of nothing because he's lying the system. Except for them government can't bring Shane Gibson guilty. They ain't got the balls. So Perry inside the FBO, and I asked Perry this question. I say, Mr. Christie, sir, you got to have some sympathy towards the taxi drivers because your father's money sent you to college of taxiing. Your daddy was a taxi driver. Can you please make it possible for the taxi drivers in Abaco to carry these Bakers Bay people back and forth? Perry Christie replied that I didn't know that Bakers Bay were carrying these people back and forth. Me with my smart self replied to Mr. Christie, Mr. Christie, if you don't know that Baker's Bay has been carrying these people for over 8 years, you need to resign and let Kai Mills become the prime minister of this country because you lost. When I said that, his whole cabinet busted laughing. He laughed too. They got on the jet and they disappeared. Then I was there at Baker's Bay one time when Hubert Ingram came to Baker's Bay. They had all the black staff line up when Hubert came through. They had the biggest feast, food everywhere. The blacks there, including me, were so happy that the Prime Minister finally going to come. And this is in the early stages of Baker's Bay. The staff and the Bahamian people knew that there were crooks and criminals over there. Hubert went past, didn't say a word to no Bahamians. Look at the food, went in the office, him and Mike Melman, a little briefcase, came back out. Again, we looking for Hubert to address us, to say something about our concerns. We were on the right. Hubert look on the left, look at the food, pass us like we are nothing. Jump back on the boat. All that food went to waste because Hubert didn't touch that food. Him and the briefcase gone back on the plane. And that's the way it is in Abaco. That is why Baker's Bay could do what they want. When they could sit down with the Prime Minister and tell the Prime Minister what they want. And the Prime Ministers of this country has forgotten the people. Again, the only Prime Minister so far has spoken for Bahamians was Lyndon Oscar Penland, and they said he's Jamaican. God bless him. We wish we had more Jamaican Prime Ministers because the one that's Bahamians ain't speaking out. We're still looking for the next Hubert. Hubert Minnis, Prime Minister present, to show some integrity and to speak out on behalf of Bahamians when his name is involved, deeply involved in the contract taking of Baker's Bay. We're still waiting. We're still hoping. It's still early. And it's still Thursday the 7th. You're live on WCAY.